Hey, this is Ryan from Ride Shocks, and today I want to tell you about our 4Runner shocks. We've got front coilovers and rear smoothies. So all of our shocks use high quality components. In the front here, the first thing you'll notice is that we've got an aluminum shock body, and we did that for corrosion resistance purposes. These things are going to last a long time and they're going to continue looking good. Inside we have synthetic shock oil. Some other people use conventional oil. We are fully synthetic, really high quality oil. We have state-of-the-art seals. We spent a lot of time developing seals and doing testing, and we've got fantastic seals that last a very long time. We've got a hard chrome piston rod made of high carbon steel. It's really strong, really durable, corrosion resistant, and the seals really like it. We've got all aluminum 6061 components here. They're all CNC machined. We also have a large hose to help with ride quality. It really helps on that choppy road. Soak it up and let the oil flow so that they don't hydrolock or get overly stiff. Continuing that theme, we've also designed our internal piston to be really high flowing, and the high flow piston lets that oil just flow right through the piston. So when you're on that washboard or on that razor chop, you can really just soak it up and be comfortable. And then finally, we've got our DPA adjuster that has a high and low speed adjustment, and we can dive a little bit more into that later. One of the things that was really important for us was designing for ride quality, and there's a couple things that we did to make sure the shock always rides well. The first is our high flowing piston. The piston just is designed for OEM applications. All the inlets are radiused and smooth. Some of the other ones have sharp edges that can cause oil flow issues and cause harshness on choppy terrain, and we kept all of ours nice and smooth to optimize the oil flow. And then we moved over to our hose here. We did a bunch of testing on larger and smaller hoses, and we found that the larger hose really helps on that choppy terrain. And so we went through like a complete redesign in order to fit this giant hose, and we had to make some custom fittings and redo some applications work, but we felt like the added benefit of the large hose and improved ride quality was worth it for our customers. So that's kind of a lot of the things we've done. We've carried the oil flow into the adjuster here. The adjuster design is high and low speed, and it's a linear design. And so there are other high and low speed adjusters on the market, but they tend to be digressive, which can introduce some harshness. Ours is linear, which typically in an overview means that there's a linear response between how much stiffer you make it, that gains performance, and it can also decrease comfort. And so by having a linear relationship, when you add performance, you get an equivalent amount of stiffness out of the shock instead of sometimes it's not linear. All of our shocks come with a high and low speed adjuster that we call the DPA. And the reason we wanted to have high and low speed adjustment is they kind of serve different purposes. Low speed and high speed refer to the speed that the shaft is moving, not the speed of the vehicle. As you can imagine, a low speed movement is like coming into a driveway and bottoming out slowly, rolling bumps off road. And then high speed is things like speed bumps, curbs, or whoops. And so by separating those out into different adjustments on the shocks, you can start to fine tune a lot more exactly what you want to improve. We find that when people add weight to their vehicle, they tend to want to pretty quickly make low speed adjustments to prevent it from being bouncy. And when people go off road and want to drive more aggressively, they tend to want more high speed. By having a separate high and low speed adjuster, we allow you to kind of target the adjustments that you need to make on your vehicle to make it feel and perform the way you want. The way that we've done that is we've got our dual piston adjuster. Just like the main piston and the hose, it's really high flowing for maximum comfort, and it gives you a large adjustment range. On our front coilovers for 4Runners, we offer 3 different weight bands, and they're kind of suited to different builds. Our first weight band comes with a 550 pound per inch spring, and that's generally for 4th gen 4Runners. And then our next weight band up is a 600 pound per inch spring, and that's typically for 5th gen 4Runners or lightly modified 4th gen 4Runners. They all come with the preload set, so your typical 4th or 5th gen 4Runner is going to come with the preload already set correctly right side to side so that you can put them on. And then our highest weight band is for 700 pound per inch springs, and that's for the guy who's got a bumper and a winch, maybe a rooftop tent, some other weight added to it. In addition to coming out with the different springs, we've also got unique internal valving. So on each of these applications, we've got a 4th and 5th gen 4Runner. We've put the shocks on there, and we've tuned them for those springs. So it's unique compression valving, unique rebound valving, and unique adjuster valving for each one of those. We went through the work of doing that to ensure that when you get these shocks for your vehicle, they're tailored to what you're doing and for your weight and for those springs, instead of just kind of a one size fits all. Going through and tuning all these applications, on the front of the 4Runner, we had to go through and tune each one of these. It's a lot of work. It's 3 times as much work as just tuning a single application. But to really deliver the ride quality we wanted, it's really the right way to do it is to have a spring and the valving tailored together for that vehicle. I want to show you here our rear shocks. There's a lot of things we've designed into these rear shocks to make them fit and function as well as possible on the back of your 4Runner. The first thing is we've got a steel one-piece top cap here. It's designed to be really short and really strong, and it's also offset. And so the offset creates additional clearance around that pocket and additional frame clearance for our rotating reservoir. It also allows us to get optimal shock lengths. The rotating reservoir here allows for better hose routing around the mounting pocket in the back, and it also allows for shorter compressed lengths and longer extended lengths, which really helps us with vehicle fitment. The next thing is the aluminum shock body. The rear shocks tend to get absolutely blasted by rocks, and having an aluminum shock body, it's not going to rust on you, so it's still going to look good, and it's not going to be all corroded down the road. Next up, we've got a shock boot here. We think protecting the shaft is like the #1 cause of leaks on shocks, and the boot is by far the best way to protect your shock and make sure it's going to last a long time. The problem we've seen with a lot of the boots in the market is they've got the holes on the top, and it just lets the water and mud right in, and then there's no hole in the bottom. The shock boot should have no holes on the top and holes on the bottom so that anything that gets in can get out. And so we've molded a custom shock boot that solves that problem. It's got the holes on the bottom, so it works as you'd expect. Down at the bottom here, we've got a nice aluminum rod end with bushings. The bushings are really durable. They add a little bit of ride quality, so the shock can really last a long time. Similar to the front, we've got our large high flow piston inside, and that's paired with our really large hose that lets a lot of oil flow for optimal ride quality. And we've got our DPA adjuster for our high and low speed adjustment. So for the rear of 4Runners, we offer 6 options. 3 are tailored for KDSS, and 3 are for either modified KDSS or non-KDSS models. KDSS is a hydraulically controlled sway bar system that improves on-road handling of your 4Runner, and very common on a lot of models. So if you've got KDSS, you can either run our 0 to 1.5 inch lift shock series, or you can install the drop brackets and you can run our 0 to 2.5 inch lift option. The only difference is an internal spacer. The valving and all that and the weight bands are kind of all the same across those. So for the rear, we offer 3 different weight bands, as we call them, and that covers kind of different weight ranges that we typically see. And so the first one is for stock 4th and 5th gen 4Runners, and the common springs you're going to run to achieve your stock height. The next option up is for a lightly modified 4Runner or a stock GX460. They have their own tune. It's got special valving, compression and rebound are tailored for that application and that weight and those spring rates, and the adjuster valving is also tailored for the weight of that vehicle. And then our last option and our heaviest weight is for the really heavy overland guys who've got the fridge in the back, the rooftop tent, and every accessory that you could possibly have. And that one is made for heavy duty springs, lots of extra weight, and we've gone through and tuned them on a vehicle with all that weight, and we've got unique compression, rebound, and adjuster valving to make sure that they work the way that you're going to expect them to on-road and off-road. With Ride Shocks, we wanted to make sure that we delivered the whole package to you guys, and that includes going beyond just making the product. We wanted to make sure that we offered an industry-leading warranty. It's 3 years or 50,000 miles. If you got a problem or you're concerned about something, just give us a call and we'll help you figure it out. Along with that, we have setup guides to help you with install. The front shocks do work on KDSS and non-KDSS models, so it's this one package fits both. We've got setup guides also to help make sure that you're getting the correct ride height, lift height, and that the shocks are working optimally. And then we've also got a great customer support team who's here to answer any questions that you might have. So we spend a lot of time designing these shocks specifically to fit the 4Runner and to optimize them for what our customers are doing. And that means the ride quality, the design of the piston, the hose, the adjuster, and all the stuff that makes it ride like you want and give you that exceptional, daily experience, and the ability to go off-road, the ability to use the adjusters to add weight or increase off-road performance. And then also do a lot of things like optimizing the lengths of our shocks, designing offset studs and things like that to make sure that this shock is going to give you the most amount of travel possible, because that's also really important to making sure you get the best ride quality and have adequate up travel and down travel so you can soak up those bumps. And so we feel like we've really gone through here and delivered the complete package where you get the best lengths, the best fitment, and the best ride quality possible. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and look out for more videos.